Yo, what's going on YouTube? Just wanted to bring you guys kind of my version of Market Monday. I know it's a very common video you guys see. People look at the content schedule and walk you through investments or whatever, and I want to do some of that, but also kind of combined it with best team in the game or best budget players, just important things that I think you guys should pick up kind of at a variety of coin levels. Again, I don't want this video or you guys to think you have to have 11.6 million coins to be able to do any of this stuff, so no worries about that, but just kind of wanted to explain what you guys should expect, and then kind of hop into it. So, if you guys have not seen the content schedule, it's a lot of the same stuff. Generally, what we expect are seasonal LTDs on Thursdays, where we get two LTD cards. We get name of the game on Tuesday, and then we'll get alumni on Sunday with some sort of promo. I believe they're now starting standouts of the week, which is basically team of the week, on Wednesdays. So that'll be another weekly promo. So just to know what kind of promos are coming out. There's no reveals yet, so I can't really tell you guys what to do as far as those cards go. But the big thing this week that we want to focus on is that Rush is coming out for kickoff. Based off of where it is on the content schedule, I believe it will start on Friday or Saturday. I'm not totally sure. Again, they don't put dates on the content schedule, so kind of hard to tell. But if we look at our last Rush, and this is kind of where I want to start. Right. If we go look at our last rush, we had top tier cards. I mean, if we look at these, every one of these cards, the ultimate LTDs, were the number one player in their position for a very long time. I guess Charles Woodson was probably pretty close with Leonard Moore, but I mean, you need two corners always, so he was at least, best in position. And then these normal LTDs were also pretty much best in position. I mean, not kind of, if it wasn't the ultimate LTD, they were the next best option. Really, again, Charles Woodson had Leonard Moore, but the rest of these guys were all great. Honestly, on my team, Randy Moss and DeMarcus Ware still play. So, I mean, these cards are going to be great. So I'd expect something similar for Labor Day Rush, is what they're calling it, or kickoff Rush, whatever it is. So what I tell you for this is, if you have really any super expensive cards, make sure to, I'd say, liquidate if you're able to, especially if they're overpriced. So what I mean by that is Makai Lemon is a big one. If you own either of these Makai Lemons, by the way, I would look to sell. I don't think they're top of their position. And I also don't think, let me go to catalog real quick to show you guys, the 89 and the 90. I don't think they're worth what they cost. I mean, the 90 Makai Lemon, I think he was 1.3 million last time I checked. Let's see what he's at. Wait, almost 1.4 million coins. There's a reason I have 11.6 million. He's not on my team. Not only is he overpriced, I don't think he really is worth it without silver takeoff or without being tall. I know he's one speed faster than every other receiver, but I don't think one speed's worth, how tall is he? What, 5'11"? Yeah, I don't think one speed's worth 4 to 5 inches depending on who you have at wide receiver. So I'd look to sell him, but look to sell other players like that. If you have players who are really overpriced, or I go through my team just to give you guys some examples. Overpriced players here, Trayshawn Hurry and Ultimate LTD Randy Moss. I own two of them. Again, I really like these cards, but I gotta be honest, the odds of us getting a rush promo with no, it's really probably the offensive skill position. So that tells us probably quarterback, running back, or wide receiver. I doubt we get a rush offensive lineman or tight end. I mean, we could, but I doubt it. So if you've really, Jalen Hurts is another one. All these million coin cards, they're great, and they're not going to become less good, but if they release a card that's even better, I mean, the top tier cards in this game only cost 1 million coins, so if you're already paying top tier, just be ready to move off, especially if you have a lower coin stack. Defensively, players I'll tell you to move off of, possibly, I don't think I touch the seasonal LTDs because they're both free safeties, so that's Jordan Gilbert and Terry Moore. Because we just got them plus another LTD free safety. I don't think we get another one, but I would expect we get a corner soon. I mean, Rod Woodson's been great, but other than Rod Woodson, we really haven't gotten any top-tier corners since Ultimate LTD Woodson and Leonard Moore. I mean, Exodus Ayers is a great player. There's been a lot of great players, but nothing truly top-tier like the last rush was. So be ready for that, and then, of course, you're probably going to get a D lineman or something. It also wouldn't shock me if we got another strong safety. I know we just got Troy Polamalu, but he's okay. I'm just kind of messing around with him. He's short. Short players aren't great in this game, just kind of how it is. So, yeah, that's how I would prepare for rush. Furthermore, I think some good investments this week. One of the things we want to look forward with investments are Cards are top tier LTDs, right? Because you can invest in mid tiers, but they just don't go up that much. You want a LTD that's top of their position, that also leaves packs, in my view, early in the week to Friday. So what that's going to be, your best LTD investments are going to be Friday promos, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday promos. So that's going to be your seasonal LTDs, your I believe it's the team of the week on Wednesday, and then whatever promo they have on Friday, which this time's Rush. Normally there's not content on Friday, normally the content on Friday would be like Campus Heroes. So, it kind of depends what the promos are, but we're looking on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday LTDs. And the reason we do that is the market rises for LTDs at 2 points in time. When they leave packs, so a week after they're in packs, they leave packs 7 days later, and also before Gauntlet. Well, Gauntlet starts on Friday. There's always a weekend and Gauntlet market rise. So the cards that leave packs Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you get like the double dip where they leave packs and Gauntlet happens. So cards that I would look at or would have done last week, just to give you guys, kind of in retrospect examples. Jalen Hurts. I bought the one on my team for $820K. He's easily 1 million coins. That's 100,000 coin profit after tax easily, on every card you could have bought. And those were not hard to snipe. You could have sniped him at 700K and made 200K every card. That's a good one. The Terry Moore and Jordan Gilbert were kind of overinvested, so I think that's kind of what killed the seasonal LTDs. But other examples to look at, like Makai Lemon, went up a lot in price because he was a top tier card that left packs on a Thursday. So currently cards out right now, I don't think there's any LTDs that I would, really recommend. There's not any great investments, especially going into Rush, where, let's say you buy, I'm just going to pick a card. Let's say you buy Rod Woodson. I don't think he's a good investment, but let's say you bought Rod Woodson. Well, Rod Woodson's great unless they drop like a Rush, I don't know, Richard Sherman or something, and you're kind of you're kind of screwed. I mean, Rod Woodson's gone up about 100K since he left packs, so it wouldn't have been a bad investment, but, it's not worth to hold these guys. Or, I mean, Rod Woodson's not even in packs anymore, but, to buy these cards going into Rush, I would stay away from LTD investments this week. What I would not stay away from is, if you remember, our last Rush was training, right? There's those LTD rerolls. Training-wise right now, what I'll tell you guys to do is always check out CFB Fan. It's a great website. And really the price we want to buy training at is under 40 coins per training. Those tends to be your lower overalls, but if you want, you could buy, 88 overalls at 135K. I think I'm probably going to buy a lot of these, just going into Rush to hold. It's right near the training floor. Training's almost at min already. And as we see this, I probably go quick filter for you guys. I probably do college kickoff because a lot of these cards are terrible. And then just, do offense, defense to refresh the market. Again, we're looking at 135 is what we want to be at. Okay, don't do offense. I'll take that back. All these cards are overpriced. I mean, you can filter to it, but we're looking at these defensive cards. 137. All these guys are kind of terrible, so they're all going to be really cheap. Another place to look for training, it'll probably spike, but on content drops. So if you go to like name of the game, which will come out tomorrow on Tuesday, these cards are all 150K. I think they're all 150K. Well, if you're able to be on around content drop, I get this is kind of an unemployed tip, or maybe maybe just that evening, but those cards always spike down in price. So if you're able to be on, maybe you can start buying them at 130K and you get really good training. I would try to stock up on training, especially going into Rush based off of last time where training spiked. Based off of this too, if you guys are like me and have millions and millions of coins and you want to buy some training to do rerolls, have fun, right? Just roll your training, you're going to be fine. If you don't have a lot of coins, and let's say you buy 400K, you buy 3 or 4 88 overalls, don't quick sell them and go roll the LTD reroll. You're going to lose coins. Or odds are you will lose coins. What you should do instead is when there's a training demand, those cards will go up in price. So if you bought them at, let's say you get them at 130K, you sniped well, you made good buys. Well, one, you could sell them right back for 150K and make, 10,000 coins, but who wants to do that? It's not really worth it. But if you wait, let's say the training makes those cards go to 170K, well, now you're making 40,000 coins per card, and you took your 500K and turned it into 700K. So that's kind of what I would do. Don't quick sell the training. Just keep those cards in your binder to be ready for training. That's kind of the two things. Quick notes about training and LTD investments. As far as team buying, when's the best time? A lot of people like to buy their teams, buy cards. Have like upgrade times. I would wait till this weekend if you're looking to upgrade or buy a large portion of your team. I'd wait until this weekend, given that we have Rush, plus the college kickoff is happening, this weekend. They kept mentioning in their streams, August 29th is a date to, be aware of. So let's be aware of that date. Let's not, be an idiot. So we have college kickoff coming, plus kickoff rush and alumni, a bunch of content towards Thursday through Sunday of this week should be very content loaded. Wait till we see what those cards are to know if you want to buy one of those instead or if it causes the cost of other cards to go down. So that's kind of what I would do as far as this week for upgrading your team. As far as the lineup goes, going to walk you, you guys have already seen my team, I think, but best in positions, I will say, I think the best offensive AP setup, I'm not really going to cover offensive line, you guys can see that, who cares, is going to be, I really like this bronze off platform on Jalen Hurts. It feels like if you hold R2, you get better pass accuracies. It could be placebo, but whatever. But anyways, I really like 2 takeoffs. I run a silver takeoff on Dwayne Bowe and a bronze takeoff on Trayshawn Hurry. I would say definitely run 2 takeoffs. If you don't like the off-platform thing, I'd run 2 silver takeoffs, which would be Dwayne Bowe and Golden Tate. If you want the discounted ones, if not, you could just put it on, whoever your receivers are, as long as they get silver abilities. So again, your best budget receivers, Bowe and then Golden Tate. Golden Tate's down to 150K, 160K. He's a great budget option at receiver. Another great budget option are going to be old LTD like normal Randy Moss. He is, I think, right around 350 to 400K, so he's another good budget option. But if you're gonna spend that many coins, I would just wait until we see Rush. I don't think you're really in a big rush, no pun intended, to upgrade those cards. So I really just looked at Golden Tate or Dwayne Bowe or both, depending on your coin stack. Quarterbacks wise, I love Jalen Hurts. He is definitely the best quarterback in the game. Do not buy him unless you have a ton of coins or you're just a really, really big Jalen Hurts fan. No card in this game is worth over 1 million coins, especially not a quarterback when we get quarterbacks all the time, when abilities really aren't a big thing on quarterbacks yet because you're running takeoffs. So, I kind of ignore that. Running back, I will say this is my favorite budget card in the game. There's a lot of really good running backs at all this 88 speed. I just like Jam Miller. I will say if you have an old running back and, not something that's super upgraded, just honestly go buy any of the running backs. Nick Singleton, Jonah Coleman, Quintravion Wisener, Jam Miller, all these guys are 88 speed that are basically all 130 to 150K. Buy one of them. They're all great players. There's no real difference. Have a fun time with that. Defensively, the key thing I'll tell you guys on your defense, I really like to be able to run 4 house calls. So in order to do that, it doesn't really matter what your DBs are. You just need to make sure you have 2 players that came out in Season 2 or are alumni. So what I mean by that is you need 2 discounted house calls. So Jordan Gilbert's a Season 2 player, so all these Season 2 players get discounted house call. So like Terry Moore gets 4 AP, Jordan Gilbert gets 4 AP, all players like that do. Or these alumni cards always have discounted abilities. So you really need at least 2 of those, and then you're able to run 4 takeoffs. 4 house calls. I think that's kind of what's worth it on defense. As far as good buys, I will tell you I've been a huge Hugh Green fan. I definitely look into copping him. And then, in my opinion, the best linebacker in the game, this guy's won me a lot of games getting picks for me, Carlos Dansby. He's pretty cheap, and he is 6'4" with almost 90 zone coverage. Depending on your strat cards, he may hit 90 zone coverage. Truly just a great player. I cannot recommend him highly enough if you use linebackers at all. He's kind of one I'd look to buy these set cards or champions. I would look to buy them maybe during the week as they go down in price, but I would not buy Troy Polamalu or Rod Woodson or even Jordan Gilbert at this point. I think I'd wait till Rush. If you already have them, though, do not sell your team before Rush. This is kind of be the Rush segment of this, other than preparing to buy the cards. Please do not sell your team during Rush. People always expect a market crash, and 1, recently the market crashes just haven't happened, and 2, in college football, let's look back to our last Rush. We had a bunch of B&D packs and one 35-step offer for $200. That's not going to crash the market. These lockers that are coming out later this week, nobody has any. Again, I don't think they're really going to crash the market. And it's just, it's really just looking to be a training thing where you put training in to get these LTDs, and they're going to put out really top tier cards that we want to buy, but there's no point to, sell your team. In order to make selling your team worth it, you need to think that we're going to have a 25% drop in the market because there's 10% tax, plus you want to actually make coins for selling your team. You don't just want to, break even on selling your team and not playing the game for a month or a week, sorry. So that's kind of what I would do is hold your team through this. I think overall bumps happening next weekend, so maybe with odds boost you want to sell then. That's something we'll talk about in our next Market Monday. But that's kind of where I leave you guys for now. Is look to buy some champion cards, especially alumni like Carlos Dansby, Dwayne Bowe, or Golden Tate, and then try to sell off your overpriced LTDs just before rush, because I think we're going to get more best in position cards that should drop those prices. And then finally, I look to buy training at around 38, under 40 per is what we want to be buying at. So again, the easiest way to buy that's going to be 88s for around or under 135,000 coins. It will take a little bit of effort, but I think holding those into the weekend and then either rolling or selling, depending on what the market does and what your coin stack looks like, is going to be the best outcome. Hope you guys enjoyed. Look forward to see you guys next week.